Hey everyone, I wanted to make a quick video. The project I've been working on is pretty much over, so I just kind of want to go over some of the stuff I did off camera, talk a little bit about the project, and talk a little bit about upcoming projects. So basically, at this point, I have the Raspberry Pi in its case hooked up to my TV, hooked up to my network, and it's got a bunch of controllers hooked up to it. It grabs ROM files from a network share that I have set up in a data center, which is a story for another time if anyone's interested. And basically, you turn it on and you select a system and you select a game, and most of the time it plays it pretty well. Um, there's all kinds of other cool features too, which I'll probably explore at some point. Me and my partner spent last night playing old N64 games, and it plays N64 games surprisingly well if you overclock it, which I'll go into what I did for that. And I don't know, man, it was a surreal experience. Brought me really back to my childhood. I've played, N64 games on emulators on my computer before, but it just wasn't the same. Now we've got this set up in the living room on our TV. We've got controllers that have, the short cables that you had for controllers back in the day. I made a point when I was talking to my partners, like, when you were a kid, you weren't lying down on the couch all comfortable with a controller in your hand, just kind of like this, and just, I'm just playing my video game. I mean, maybe you did that with your Game Boy, but you sure as hell didn't do it when you were console gaming. You were sitting on the edge of your couch or seat, and you were excited. There was no relaxation about it. You were an excited little kid looking at what amounted to, actually, for today's standards, really crappy graphics, but just something about it was almost um, more immersive than games of today, like AAA titles of today. I mean, yeah, the AAA titles look more realistic, but there's something magical about how good they made shit look on the N64. I have a particular nostalgia for N64, so there is that. But I'm like looking at it, and half my brain's like, I know this looks horrible, and the other half of my brain's like, no, that looks really cool actually, and I really feel like I'm there. And then you got like a AAA title today, and you see like a rainforest almost exactly like it would in a picture, and you're playing the game, you already know it feels fake and not real. So I don't know. That's just me rambling for a little bit. Let's get into this. So I'm remotely connected to the Raspberry Pi right now over SSH. Um, when you log in, this is what it looks like, and just gives you kind of facts about it, um, like current temperature and stuff. Um, Basically, what I did as far as the overclocking was concerned was I took a look at this file. /boot /config.txt. I use Nano text editor when I'm doing it on the Pi itself. And I did some research and some testing, and this line here, right here, uncomment to overclock the ARM, there would be a commented line out underneath it that you could remove, and then you would put these settings in. Basically, you're giving it an overvoltage of 6, an ARM frequency of 2147, and a GPU frequency of 750, and that works great. Now, one thing I did have trouble with is I screwed this up the first couple times, and the machine wouldn't even finish booting. It would crash before it finished booting, and I couldn't even get into it to change the settings. So what I did in that case is I took the SD card out, and you can actually mount the boot partition when you plug it into the computer. I believe it's a FAT partition, so the Windows computer can read it, Mac computer, any computer can read it. And that first partition's the only one a Windows computer can boot, can mount without hacks, but that's the one that has this file in it. So if you just go to config.txt on that within a Windows machine, you can edit the file there and then plug it back into your Raspberry Pi. So we put those lines in there, and then we would have saved the file and rebooted. And then if all went well, everything would seem exactly the same, but it would be running at a higher. It would be running at a higher clock frequency and GPU clock frequency, which makes some of the harder to emulate games a little smoother. The other thing I did was I did an update. So I did a sudo apt-get update, which I don't really need to do now, but I will. And then I did a full upgrade. So let me just look at my history to see the exact command. Yeah, it was this one, sudo apt dist upgrade. I could run it now, but there wouldn't be anything to do. It's just going to be like, you're up to, oh, I guess there's an update since last time, so we'll go ahead and do it. Part of me doesn't want to like do too many updates when it's in a working state because I don't want it to go into an unworking state. But I'd like to think that everything that gets upgraded will hopefully improve. I can always roll back if I need to. Hopefully improve performance. You can also run a sudo apt-get upgrade to see if there's any other packages that need upgrading. No. And then you would reboot after that. So that was actually the first step. I did the first step second, or I went over the first step second. But you'd do that, you'd reboot, you'd do the overclocking, you'd reboot again, and then things would be pretty much ready to go. I'll do a separate video where I'm kind of showing you what it looks like on the TV. Either that, or I'll find my capture card so I can kind of get a better example of what it looks like without just being like filming a TV, because I know that doesn't usually look very good. But yeah, so that brings me to the last part of this video, where let me reboot this before I forget, since I did do an upgrade just to be safe. Anyway, so the other thing was there's another case for the Raspberry Pi that the company that made this one makes that looks average, but they told me that if I buy it and post a review, they'll refund me on Amazon with an Amazon gift card, which is pretty cool. But I don't want to do that until I have a project in mind and planned, and I'm going to do it. So I bought a Raspberry Pi because it's nice to have one of those handy if I ever want to do a project. And I'm going to wait to buy the case, but hopefully I was hoping to kind of crowdsource some ideas from you guys, because I kind of wanted to make this a Raspberry Pi project that intersects with locksport. So one random idea that came to my head was some sort of device to tension a lock for you. I don't know how useful or easy that would be to make. And I know I don't have a ton of people here on my YouTube channel to throw ideas at me, but hopefully one of the 5 or 6 people that'll watch this video all the way through has a cool idea, and we can make it happen together. Anyway, I think that's it for now. Hope you guys are all having a great day, and cheers. See you next time. Bye-bye.